The purpose of this video is to quickly discuss the importance of running the SOM in order to do data forecasting and prediction. I will make this point very clear. You cannot run the prediction or forecasting tab without first running the SOM solution. So we'll show this here, for example. We'll go in, get the database we've been working with all the time up to this point, which is our Welsh Multiple Deprivation Index. We have the key factors we know, the cases, their scores, profiles on the variables, and we're set. You do not have to do the cluster analysis to run the prediction tab, but you absolutely have to train the SOM and run it. Now, when you get to compare and visualize the data, the difference here will be that you will see the names of all the cases that you've examined, but not necessarily their cluster membership. That may or may not be important to you. That's key. So the SOM is working at the level of the individual data and will cluster it. Now, that is potentially important to also run k-means, because you want to know how the k-means thinks about it as well, and it provides a nice way of corroborating the two. But at most basic level, you have to import your data and you have to run the SOM on the data in order to use the predict tab. And you can visualize your results to see where the training set data went. Remember, this data is the training set to set the SOM up. Then you can move on to get the other data, which in this case was the Welsh multiple deprivation index for 2016, 2 years later, and you can do your classification. And again, get your quadrants, best quadrant fit, second best quadrant fit for those case IDs. Notice the information here is no different than if we ran the cluster analysis. The only additional utility in running the cluster solution, okay, is that when you then go to do the confirmations done, when you go to visualize your results now, you have, in addition, sorry, I forgot to have to train the SOM, is that when you visualize your results, now you have the clusters attached to the SOM solution. So that gives you an additional piece of information. But case ID 1 is still going into best quadrant 25, second best 24, and that solution is based entirely on the SOM. The utility of then running the k-means again is because it gives you additional information, which is part of the reason we've put these two together. So once again, to repeat, to run the forecasting and data prediction tab, you have to import your data and you have to run the SOM. Also very important to remember when you do this is why generating the report at the end is so crucial. After you end this session, you close the Complexit app out online. All the data that you uploaded is lost. It's only temporarily stored for the purposes of analysis. Once you exit the building, it's all gone, and you have to redo your analyses over again the next time. So even though in your generate report, you've got information on your SOM solution, your k-means cluster solution, and you can go on to use that in other instances, you cannot use that solution for the next session you do. The only instance, however, where you can is if you go and use the downloadable version of Complexit. For those who are interested, for example, to set up on their own computer or their own server a version of Complexit, download version is the one to go with, and then you can actually save your SOM solution, permanently have it somewhere, and use that SOM solution to actually run your analyses. Because on the downloadable version right here, when you get to predicting and forecasting, you choose the CSV file, and then right here it'll have an additional command which says, do you want to use a previous SOM saved or the present one? And you click it, and if it's a previous SOM saved, you upload that SOM and run it. So again, the downloadable version offers you the opportunity to use the SOM solution you've arrived at based on previous sessions. The online version does not, simply because of the fact that data cannot be saved to the online version to be used for future purposes.